In the field of philosophy, there are three classic questions. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? In each of these questions, there is a common key subject, I. To solve these three questions, we must first understand who or what I truly am. When answering this question, some people may mention their name. However, a name is merely a symbolic representation, usually given by parents or close family members, without any inherent meaning. You can change your name or add a new one at any time, and it would have no impact on your essence. A name is just a label in language or writing to denote someone for communicative purposes. It is not tied to one's essence. Many people might agree that the entire body beneath the clothes they wear represents themselves. This definition seems more accurate, but it also has substantial issues. Throughout our lives, the physical body undergoes constant renewal. It is said that in about 7 years, the materials making up your body are almost entirely replaced. From a physical standpoint, the you of today is barely related to the you of 7 years ago. Are you still the same person? If not, where did the current you come from? And where did the you from 7 years ago? If you still consider yourself the same person, this suggests that the physical body has little to do with your essence. Let's consider a hypothetical scenario where someone wishes to achieve immortality. One solution to this goal is for their body to remain perpetually youthful and healthy, immune to aging and disease. Theoretically, barring any fatal injuries, this would allow them to live indefinitely. This is also the primary focus of current research on extending lifespan and achieving immortality. However, if the physical body ultimately cannot escape aging and disease and must decline, there is another approach to achieving immortality: transferring one's consciousness into another body. This could be another human body or an artificial mechanical body, an idea often explored in science fiction. If ethical concerns are disregarded, many would find this appealing because it could allow them to choose a more attractive or stronger body, gaining abilities previously inaccessible in their original form, and experiencing life in a new way. From this perspective, it seems that I refers to my consciousness, or that consciousness is closer to my essence than my body. The body is merely a vessel for consciousness, meaning I should be defined as my consciousness, excluding the body. However, is our consciousness truly I? To date, at least in the realm of mainstream consensus, humans know very little about their own consciousness. We know far more about the external world than we do about ourselves. How should we define our existence? This is a question many have attempted to answer, yet they struggle to pinpoint what the true I is. Thus, they start using attributes attached to I to define it. Our consciousness is filled with content, our memories, thoughts, personality traits, and emotions. While the true nature of I remains unknown, these personal aspects are closely tied to I and shape its appearance. So we intuitively use them to define ourselves. Many people like to define themselves through memory, as memory easily establishes a sense of identity. It defines our role in society. But let's not forget what memory is. It's simply information. From basic common sense, I should not just be a form of information or cold data. A hard drive packed with massive amounts of information doesn't resemble life more than a bacterium does. A data center holding vast information is still just a machine. It is not alive, nor does it become a person. Furthermore, if I were to suffer amnesia after a car accident and wake up in a hospital with no recollection of my past, would that mean I have died if memory defines I? If I have died, then who is the person waking up in the hospital? Some choose to define themselves through their thoughts. The famous philosopher Descartes coined the phrase, "I think therefore I am." According to this, his existence is defined by his thoughts. Descartes went far in exploring thought and is a renowned philosopher, but thought itself is developed through training over time. When a person is born, they are like a blank slate, almost devoid of any thought. Their only thinking ability is primitive, instinctual. My existence, however, should at the very latest be counted from birth, not from when I first began to form thoughts. My existence precedes thought. If we claim that our existence comes from forming thoughts or learning to think, rather than from simply being born into this world, it contradicts common sense. Some also define themselves through personality, emotions, or temperament, but such definitions are flawed as well. Our personality is largely shaped by the environment and changes with life experiences. The personality of a child, an adult, and an elderly person often differ. Would different personalities across life stages mean I am no longer the same person? Likewise, our emotions toward others or things often change. Feelings can be established, fade, turn from love to hate, or vice versa. Emotions are thus dynamic and variable. Do we become someone else because of these changes? Furthermore, emotions arise from our connection to other things. Without an external object, there is no emotion. Clearly, my existence should not depend on any external object. Thus, emotions cannot define me. In consciousness, emotions resemble a gust of wind. They arise in response to certain stimuli, are sensed, influence us, and even direct our behavior to an extent. But they seem like a sudden, uncontrollable force. Emotions can emerge and dissipate in minutes, and can shift many times over a short period. Emotions, therefore, are unsuitable for defining my existence. The attributes often used to define I seem more like qualities attached to me. They may form, change, or disappear, making my outward behavior appear different. There should be a true I embedded within, constant and unchanging, at least throughout one's lifetime. The ancient thought experiment known as the Ship of Theseus is suitable for exploring this topic. The Ship of Theseus is a philosophical thought experiment used to discuss identity, change, and continuity. It was first proposed by the ancient Greek philosopher Plutarch to describe the identity dilemma of Theseus's ship in Greek mythology. Imagine a ship where, over time, parts become worn or damaged and are replaced. At some point, every part of the ship has been replaced. Is it still Theseus's ship? If we reconstruct another ship using the removed parts, which one is the true ship of Theseus? Several common perspectives arise from this experiment. Identity theory. The ship's identity lies in its designation or name. Thus, as long as the name Theseus ship remains, the ship's identity remains unchanged. Material theory. The ship's identity lies in its material composition. As parts are replaced, the ship's identity changes. Process theory. The ship's identity lies in its history and evolution. As parts are gradually replaced, its identity changes because its history has changed. These views are all based on assumed premises, valid only if these assumptions hold. This subjectivity is why different views arise, making consensus on the ship of Theseus impossible. Without a definite, indivisible essence, no clear answer is achievable. If we upgrade this thought experiment, making the ship of Theseus an AI-controlled supership with a unique core fully integrated into its system, we arrive at a more definitive answer. This core, inseparable and unchanging from the moment it formed, is Theseus's true essence. If the core remains, it is still Theseus's ship, regardless of other replacements. Once the core is replaced, it is no longer Theseus's ship. Even if disassembled, as long as the core exists, Theseus remains. In this enhanced thought experiment, we find a clear answer because the ship has a unique, unchangeable essence. When a being is objectively certain, it must be distinct, unchangeable, and indivisible. Various aspects may adhere to it, altering appearances, but these are surface level and do not change its true core. Similarly, aspects such as a person's name, status, memory, personality, emotions, etc., are mutable attributes. The crucial question is, do we have a distinct, unchangeable essence representing our true existence? If so, what is it? Why can we observe memory, personality, emotions, and other defining features, yet not our true essence? If we lack a true essence, are we objectively real? The answer is we do objectively exist. Yet simply knowing this answer is less important than finding the location of that true, objective I. This is the core of all spiritual teachings. In the following video, I will reveal this answer.